Welcome.
Hello everyone, and this is our last but not the least session of our first day of the conference. And I enjoy hearing this music of the transitions between sessions. I really like watching it and listening to this music. And today we are talking about formal verification for smart contracts with our friend from Pruvendo, with its co-founder Sergey Egorov, who is a software professional with 25 years of experience and a strong advocate of software quality, believer of the fantastic future of formal verification. And hello, Sergey, how are you? I think you're on mute. Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
sorry about this. Hi, everybody. It's really great to participate in such a fantastic event. Alec, thank you for brief introduction of me. And yes, today I'm going to speak about maybe one of the most underestimated areas of software quality about formal verification, and show how can they be used for smart contract verification, how we do it at Pruvendo. Pruvendo is our company that works with formal verification for the last 3 years. I'll talk about it a bit later. So let's start with our presentation. At first, I'd like to briefly introduce myself. So I'm working for half a century in IT industry, worked with such big companies as Sun Microsystems and Oracle, worked as a head of quality engineer for Java Micro Edition. Maybe you're old enough to remember about Java games and all this stuff. It was a bit funny, but actually, it was a pretty mighty Java virtual machine behind it, and I was the lead of all the quality efforts related to the Java Micro Edition. Then I worked as with my own business, and for the last 5 years, I'm with my friends and colleagues. We're doing Pruvendo. And what we're doing is a formal verification for smart contracts. And now I'm going to explain you, if you don't know, what it is and how we deal with it and what the technical results are. So let's move on. I plan at first to talk briefly about what formal verification is, then provide some examples of some success story, and then very lightly and easily touch technical stuff, because it's the formal verification is not an easy thing, and it's impossible to describe it and describe it within 1 hour and to teach anybody. So I'm just going to tell you that some such a thing exists. Let's move on. Probably you all know that smart contracts is an area where people always lose their money because of cheatings, because of frozen of assets in smart contracts, because of all this stuff. And just a few years ago, a few days ago, I heard that in 2022, so last year, it was about $2.4 billion somehow lost due to bugs in in smart contracts. So it's definitely a big problem. Some people, of course, don't care about it, but some do. It should be solved somehow. There are some traditional solutions. At first, the first idea is to keep good development practices, like good coding style, code reviews, etc., 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 test-driven development, and all this stuff. Of course, it really helps, but not completely. The second possible solution is audit. It's very widely used right now, and I'm going to talk about audit as the next slide. And the third one is a set of some non-technical solutions, for example, insurance or something else. But I'm not going to talk about it right now because it's not really used. As to fight it really doesn't work. Maybe it will work in the future. So talking about audit, it was a very funny story. Just an example. A couple of years ago, our company and one other company made an audit some smart contract called SAV, so majority voting. At that time, we found a whole bunch of bugs. So some of them were critical, and at the same time, another team of auditors also found a big number of bugs, and then by the end of the day, we found that we don't have any intersection at all. So we just found completely different sets of bugs. So it means that audit, the quality of audit is not so good sometimes as it should be. I know that some companies that really require high quality results often buy a few audits. I know one German company that bought 6 different audits. So this way people trying to be on a safe side, but nobody can guarantee anything. So talking again about the overall security, unfortunately, we can claim that the traditional set of measures is definitely not enough for really good and reliable quality assurance of smart contracts. So let's move on. And now, by the way, this slide is can be a bit difficult to understand. I'll try to explain as much as possible to make it easy. But now I'm going to start talking about formal verification. Formal verification was invented not yesterday. It's a pretty old technology. It was invented mostly in 80s, but since this time it's not widely adopted due to a number of reasons. What formal verification means? Actually, it's a way to strictly mathematically prove that implementation of the program corresponds to some form of specification. Maybe it's a bit difficult to understand right now, but as the next slides, I will try to illustrate this stuff. So at first we create specification where we formally described what features are required for the application. Then you implement it, and then you prove the correspondence between specification and implementation. To prove this correspondence, the special so-called proof assistants are used. These proof assistants basically were intended to help mathematicians to prove theorems, but they also can be used for proving the software. There are a few proof assistants right now. The most popular of them are Coq, Agde, and Isabel. We're using Coq. Actually, it's a pretty professional tool, but I recommend everybody to look into it. So again, we mathematically prove implementation against specification. And possibly we found a magic bullet, or in this slide you can see an example of specification statement. As I already said before, formal specification is a set of statements that implementation should follow. And there is a pretty simple example. So that some transaction may be submitted only by authorized person. And on the right, you will see how it can be translated to some formal level. It's not the Coq language, but it's some intermediate language. With using some mathematical characters. So this slide is provided to help you to understand what we're talking about when we're talking about formal specification. Let's move on to formal verification, not to formal specification. As I already said, it looks pretty optimistic at the first glance, but there are some popular opinions, and there are many people who don't like the formal verification and consider a number of drawbacks. At first, it's very hard to use. It requires a pretty good level of pretty good knowledge of mathematics, of modern time mathematics. It takes enormous time to prove something useful. Specification is usually not understandable at a formal level. Remember the last slide, the right comma was not easier to understand, right? And also, it's very easy to miss something important from the formal specification and forget to prove some important features. So again, the popular opinions, so it's too long and expensive, that due to some potential problems with specifications, still there is no confidence. And even now, some companies use formal verification for marketing purposes only, and and do some very very minimal work. They do. They just prove a few basic features, and don't deep dive into the product. So the quality of such an activity is sometimes pretty low. And but our team, Pruvendo, we claim that formal verification is a really great thing if it's done correctly. If it's done correctly, and our goal is to create formal verification with human face. So to give an ability to do it easy, fast, cheap, and understandable. Actually, it's what we're doing. And in a few slides, I'll talk about it a bit at a technical level. But now I'm going to give you an example of our success story of formal verification of multi-sig project. You see what was done and what was achieved. What is multi-sig contract? Basically, it's just a wallet. It's just a blockchain. It's just a wallet based on a smart contract with a few signatures required. It can be used, for example, if we have a few orders of some company and there is no full trust between them, and to do any spending, you need to sign, for example, to get, for example, 2 or 3 signatures. So it's a very popular contract. It was done for Everscale blockchain. If you don't know Everscale, it's relatively new and relatively popular blockchain that was originally invented by and developed by Durov brothers. And originally it was named TON, T-O-N, Telegram Open Network. But after some pretty sad story with American Security Commission, Durovs were banned from this project, and it was continued, but by community. That time it was renamed to Freeton, and after some incident, it was renamed to Everscale. So we formally verified multi-sig contract for Everscale blockchain, and we did it twice. First time we did with very plain technology 3 years ago, and the second time we did it again with our new technology just a few months ago. So first time we spent about 3 man-years. This time we spent 1 month. So basically we improve our speed by more than 30 times. We found 5 critical bugs that were missed by all the audits they have. They had 2 audits beforehand, and no more bugs were found after our formal verification. And speaking more, right now we verified more, probably about 10 different contracts, and no bugs were found. So it looks like that it really works. It looks like it. So it really works, and it really provides a pretty high level of confidence and guarantees that your smart contracts will be free of critical and other bugs. For example, at this slide we can see an example of one of the bugs that was found during formal verification, and agrees that it's very hard to find this kind of bug during the traditional audit. So we have two custodians, Alice and Bob. Both of them must sign the transaction to submit it. Alias signs the transaction. Then she asked to change the list of custodians, and currently she became the second signer rather than the first signer. So she has an opportunity to sign it again. So I agree, it's pretty difficult to it's a problem pretty difficult to be found. Okay, let's move on. Now let's briefly talk about some technical stuff, how we do formal verification. And at this slide, we can see our typical workflow. So as I demonstrated before, we need to prepare specification, we need to prepare implementation, and then we can do proof. So usually, so let's start with specification. Usually we we get the business level specification from the customer or create it together. So it's usually being done in just plain English or another language, or another human language. Then we gradually move from human level to POC level. At each step, it's a bit harder to understand, but until it reaches the code level, the customer still have the chance to understand what's going on. Talking about lower section, about implementation. At first, we get our source code in Solidity, and then we provide some transformation of it. I'll talk more about it as the next slides. So the first step of preparing the implementation is to move from imperative language such as Solidity. Currently we support Solidity and C++, and maybe we'll support Rust in future. Move to some DSL over Cork, because we need because all this mathematical proving is applicable for declarative languages only. It's a bit hard to do. There is no direct way to do it over imperative languages such as Solidity. So so this transformation let us keep in some imperative style syntax, but actually we are moving to declarative language. So to demonstrate it, let's consider the following example. This code also taken from multi-sig contract. So on the left you see the source code and Solidity, and on the right you see the result of translation from Solidity to Ursus. Also translated so both Ursus language and all the translators were developed by our team and fully automated. So you can see that in general the syntax is pretty similar, not identical but pretty close to each other. And even more, you can do back translation from Ursus to Solidity that let us theoretically let us write the code in Ursus. And there are even some reasons to do it, but so far nobody actually done it. So moving on. When we get our code to Ursus. Then we can translate. We'll go further and translate our code into the set of formulas. So basically, the first formula called eval is the return value of each function, and the second formula called exec is the formula of a new virtual machine state after function execution. Basically, it's a state monad, if you know what it means, but I'm not going to go deeply in that area. By today, the process of conversion from pseudo-imperative Ursus code into this set of formulas is almost automated. There are still some problems with some kind of loops. And I hope that during the upcoming a couple of months we'll be able to deal with loops as well. So our process will become fully automated. On the other side, we are moving from moving the specification from understandable from business level, understandable by anybody, to core level. As I already said, by a few different steps. So the first step is to provide specification in human language, and the second stage is provide a number of scenarios. So scenario is a special type. So scenario basically is a logically complete user action. So for example, referring to multi-sig, a kind of scenario is submitting a transaction, or say creation of the whole system. So, so each smart contract is considered here is just as a set of scenarios, and when this set is identified, we create a skeleton of each scenario. The creation of skeleton is started with outcome section. So basically, skeleton consists of an input section, body section, and output section. We started with outcomes section. That basically we consider that the most part of scenario is what should be done. So what's the mission of the scenario? So in this example, you see that we have three possible outcomes. In the first case, we need to do some after action, for example, send some event somewhere. For scenario for outcome 2, we don't need to do anything, and outcome 3 is just to continue working with this scenario. Well, when we defined the outcomes, now we move with input section. So in this case, we in this example we have entry check. If we have some if some conditions are met that are required to start the scenario. Then we have two actors. Actors are just entities who can initiate some actions. So we can talk about some humans, some smart contracts, some external programs. Each of them can be an actor. And also there is a special agent in this Example, auto run that runs automatically when the scenario starts. So each of them provides some actions to the body, and now it's time to make the skeleton for the body. So it's pretty simple in this case. So just four different actions. But anyway, by the day of the day, we got the full skeleton of the scenario. So far it's naked, but we're going to wear it up. So the So at this stage, we decide some types, variables, actions, uh, and assign some algebraic features to each of the element of the skeleton. So it's not so easy stuff. So I'm going to skip it for this speech because it's a topic of a special lecture. But at this stage, we're able to discuss and describe all the features of the project in a graphical format first, and with all the details. When this graphical stuff is done, we can move to low level to map the specification statements to the entities provided by the implementation, so to the types, to the variables, to their functions. And so we can get the full specification using the entities provided by the implementation. So it means that by the end of the day, we have implementation and specification region using the same set of entities. So again, what was done? Because I understand the last part was maybe a bit difficult to understand. So what was basically done is that we managed to provide a process of making the full and controlled by the customer specification from business part to graphical part, and only then to low level part. That is difficult to understand to be understandable by the customer. Again, I repeat the slide. It's again about specification. So at the left side we see some business level. On the right side we see some low level. So we can see that low level is high level is understandable by everybody. Low level is understandable not by everybody, but there are still some chances for that being an IT professional, the customer will be able to understand it. Let's move to core stuff. And here is an example how it looks like. At this, it's clear that it's almost not understandable by anybody who is not pretty much familiar with this technology. So definitely the customer is not supposed to dive so deeply into the code. So this area is fully under the code developer after the verifier. By the way, as I already said, implementation preparation is almost is being done almost automatically. We have the same plans for specification, but right now we're only in the beginning of the development of the particular tools. So and we expect them in by the end of the year. Well, and currently we've done all specification work manually. For proving, we use two types of proving. There is a lightweight option with so-called quick check tool that makes some kind of enhanced randomized testing. So it's not even proven, but allows to quickly find errors and provides with a negative with a negative example. And also we have a full-scale deductive verification that allows to basically prove as a theorem, as I described before. Currently, it's almost automated, so it's automated approximately by 80% for all the typical types of code. Of course, you can write something very specific and exotic, and in this case, it will be done manually. But for typical smart contracts code, 80% of all the process is automated. So by the end of the day, we managed to speed up the formal verification process in a few dozen times. So, I forgot to talk about cross-functional level because nobody does it, because usually all the verification is related to just one function. Our technology allows to do cross-functional level. So we're able to claim a very wide statements. For example, no balance is negative. Is related not to particular function, but to the whole system of smart contracts.
Sorry, yeah, Sergey, sorry to interrupt you at this moment. We've got something like 8 minutes before the conference ends. So please, I would like to ask you to uh, maybe to go through a little bit quicker so that we could cover the questions from the live chat at the end.
Okay, I'm almost done. So I just have,
Oh, yeah,
a couple more slides, maybe just one slide.
perfect.
Okay. So our next steps is to move further with automation. Also we're going to create an advanced specification tool. Well, also we're going to start working with Rust to be able to to work with some blockchains as Solana and other popular and perspective ones. And taking into account that currently everybody is crazy with ChatGPT. So we are working with some partners to create AI-based specification creation. But so far, we don't have results so far. But I hope maybe in a month we'll be able to tell something about it. Okay, so just summarizing the process, what we managed to do is significantly improve formal verification stuff. Uh, so we managed to dramatically speed up the verification process in 30 times as in multi-sig case. So we are able to claim that it's useful and it's reasonable for small and medium-sized smart contracts. Of course, if we're talking about, say, smart contracts, a system of smart contracts with dozens of thousands of lines of code, maybe it's still too expensive and time consuming to do formal verification for the whole system. But for small and medium smart contracts, it's pretty much applicable and useful. We achieved some level of automation, but there is still a room for much more automation. And of course, we need to improve our specification experience by developing good specification practice, proper practices, and automated and semi-automated tools. Because currently, the specification process is um, potential pitfall for the whole process. Because if you forget something in specification, you 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 forget something to be checked. So in this case, we don't have 100% confidence if you forget something. But anyway, I totally recommend using formal verification. And if you would like to know more, feel free to contact me. We are looking for partners, for customers, for investors, and just for people who would like to know more about formal verification, we will definitely be happy to uh, talk with you, to describe you more, to provide you with some technical information, to get you an ability to try something by yourself. Many thanks for your attention. I am done. And Alec, if there are any questions, I will be happy to
Okay.
answer.
Yes, we've got one question. We can make it quickly to answer. And the question says, as the field of formal verification continues to evolve, what are the key areas of ongoing research or development? Are there any emerging trends or advancements that may impact the adoption and effectiveness of formal verification of smart contracts? I think it's kind of
Uh,
research-based question.
mhm. Okay, so actually, currently there are just a few companies who are working on formal verification for uh, smart contracts. So they all use the different technology, and I wouldn't say that there are some emergent trends right now. So actually, the main trend is to make it applicable for the real world. Because as I already said, when you spend 3 many years for 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 a really relatively small contract, it doesn't work. It doesn't satisfy anybody. So emerging trend is to make it automatic as much as possible, to follow the typical uh, to make the certification process being easy, either automatical or maybe at least uh, guided by some manuals.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I think, yeah, that was the only question for today. And on this point, I would like to thank everyone who joined us today, and say thank you to all the speakers who made this event happen, and for this fantastic first day of our conference. And Sergey, I think your topic definitely needs some more time to go uh, into more details and make it more fundamental, I would say. And I really enjoyed your uh, talk, since it feels like you've got 25 years of experience, since the things you are talking about are also quite fundamental. And many thanks for that. I hope we will stay in touch and maybe collaborate in our future events as well, with you, with your
Thank
company.
you.
And at this point, yes, I would like to remind you that we will see you tomorrow, same place, same time, and with the agenda about industry and business. And we also would like to remind you that we are conducting our NFT metaverse, and you will find the links in the live chats wherever you are watching this. And before you go, and before we say your final thank you for today, you will see a 2 or 3 minute video invitation from our colleague Arseny, design director, who is a curator of that exhibition. And after that, please check out Delete Our Metaverse. Okay, then, thanks everyone once
Thank
again,
you.
and yeah, stay
Thank you very
tuned.
much.
Cheers. Bye bye.
Hello, and welcome to the Blockchain Community Day. My name is Arseny and I have been exploring and curating the best of visual, media arts and design since 2003. By establishing DesignCollector.net as a leading online media resource for new media art, design, and other creative disciplines. Since 2013, I have been organizing the annual initiative called Digital Decay, which aims to reveal up and upcoming digital artists. It took place in the creative hubs of London, Barcelona, St. Petersburg, and has been presenting nearly 200 pioneering, explanatory, and celebrated artists who work between the physical and digital realm. In 2020, the NFT art scene saw a surge in popularity, and I became a vocal member of the NFT community by promoting artists and events. In 2021, I started to support the leading platform, SuperRare, with the curation and editorial efforts. I have onboarded more than 30 artists to this platform and conducted a lot of interviews. In 2023, I have focused all my curatorial practices on this new sub-platform, 0xsiberia.com. Firstly, by delivering the Metaverse exhibition, Artificial Imagination, which happens during the Blockchain Community Day today. Artificial Imagination is the exhibition featuring outstanding works from selected artists exploring the themes like perception, humanity, obscurity and dreams of AI-powered systems. The exhibition is powered by Metaverse Gallery, created by and with the help of Optiva Media in collaboration with IDA Streamlix. You can explore this metaverse during the conference and see all artworks featured on our exhibition. Each of the artwork has a description, and you can find the NFT on the Special Foundation App world page. Feel free to join us during this blockchain conference at 0xsiberia.com and experience the metaverse, find out auction on foundation of NFT artworks, and join the conference. Thank you.